go. It's Saturday, the 2nd of March, 2013. Here we are in March. It goes so quick. Thank you very much to James, who writes in to correct us on Robert in Iceland's blog address. Do you remember we gave that out last week? And when I looked, I realised it was completely wrong. The address, if you want to follow our good friend, he regularly writes in, and I've started to read out his blog anyway. But if you want to have a look at Robert in Iceland's blog, the correct address is Pellshome, PELLSHOME.wordpress.com. All right, let me just. I'm going to. I tell you what, I better type that in just to check that that's right now. Pellshome. What did I say? wordpress.com. Oh, hang on. Yeah, that's it. That's it. All right, so if you want to... And he does very good writing, Robert in Iceland. Have a little look at that if you've got time. Thank you very much for that, James. He says that's the correct website. I think I found it, and you mentioned Katie being brushed and not liking it, your cat. Yeah, that's right. My cat does not like being brushed. James says, I find with my cat she likes being brushed in a certain way. With my cat, she likes being brushed in the direction of head to tail with a soft brush. Hope it's been of help, and I hope Katie gets her well-earned rest. From James. Oh, Katie is permanently resting now, James. She is at this very moment curled up asleep in the middle of my bed. It's just so annoying. Why do they sleep in the middle of the bed? Why can't cats have their own side? So, later on, because I always have a little sleep in the afternoon, don't I? I've done this for many, many years. Later on, when I get in bed, I will carefully have to try and get in the side so as not to disturb her. I mean, it's my bed. They take over cats, but we love it. We love it. I've got to say hi to Heidi as well. Hello, Heidi. No, Eddie. Is it Eddie? Oh, God, how many names have you got, dear? Can you sign these things with one name at the bottom? God's sake. Eddie says, because I've, you know, remember, I did say it was Heidi. I'm sure it wasn't Heidi. Was it Heidi? What did you write on the last letter? See, the trouble is, some people, they've got an email address with one name. They're talking about someone in the email, that's another name, and then they sign it at the bottom, a third name. And I don't know who the bloody hell I'm talking to here, dear. Anyway, it was, whoever it was, who liked the old play talk shows that I did a few years ago. I did about, this must be coming on 3 years ago now, and she was asking if they were available anyway. I said no, that I'd asked Ross. However, Ross has replied, and he has the shows, which I have uploaded for you, my darling, which Ross has uploaded for you, and I've sent you the link, so hopefully you'll be able to download those. All right, my darling? Thank you very much. Couple of little stories here that I've taken out of the paper, and vegetarians everywhere, including myself, will be disappointed with this one. Walker's Crisps, and this is in what was it, Thursday's Daily Mail. Walker's Crisps are to use real meat in their smoky bacon and roast chicken crisps for the first time, as it bids to shake off junk food label. Now, you're probably surprised to hear that. But let me tell you, there's a lot of those, I don't really call them ready meals, they're snacks. There's a lot of snacks that say chicken flavoured, smoky flavoured, bacon flavoured, beef flavoured, whatever. There's a lot of these items that actually have never been anywhere near a piece of meat. It's all flavourings. I don't know how they make the flavourings. I suppose it's some sort of chemical. But nevertheless, there's no meat in them. Indeed, I think it was the pot noodle, a chicken and mushroom pot noodle. If you pick that up and look at the ingredients, and then somewhere at the bottom, it says, suitable for vegetarians. There is no chicken in there. And I quite like a chicken and mushroom pot noodle, to be honest. Very, very tasty. Crisps are the same. When you look at the back of a bag of crisps, nowhere does it say it contains chicken or bacon. Do they do a beef flavour? I don't know. Well, this is bad news. Vegetarians have, as I say, this was in Thursday's Daily Mail, vegetarians have reacted with horror to plans by Britain's biggest crisp maker to start selling smoky bacon and roast chicken crisps that actually contain the items they describe, i.e. chicken and bacon. The move to real ingredients is thought to be an attempt to shake off the junk food label, but has been greeted with horror by vegetarians who have been tucking into these snacks for years, including myself. I'm just, why do it? I don't get it. They sell millions of these bags of crisps. Why do they have to change stuff? How many times have you gone in the supermarket and you go and getting your usual things, your usual tea bags, your usual biscuits, your usual... Oh, hang on a minute. And you look at the biscuits and it says new, improved flavour. And from past experience, you know, when you get those biscuits home, they are not going to taste as nice as the ones that you are used to. Am I right? I noticed on the television this morning, I saw an advert for McVitie's chocolate biscuits with now more chocolate. So I'm going to go out later on and buy a packet of these and try them. And I bet they've pissed about with the biscuit. I bet they have. They have to change things, don't they? They constantly have to do things to things that we're used to. I myself am guilty of that, obviously not with food, but with this show. I know that regular listeners and viewers who have been with us for years and years are used to and like a long show. You like something on the region between half an hour and an hour, don't you? Something like that. I know that. And where in the past I have listened to other people that say it's too long. Why don't you do it this way? Why don't you do it this way? And I have indeed tried other ways of doing it. Only to, I wouldn't say offend, only to disappoint the people that have been with us for many, many years. So I'm as guilty. I've gone back to the old format of fairly relaxed, rambling on for sort of half hour, 45 minutes, sometimes as long as an hour. You know. But the biscuits, McVitie's have changed the biscuit. I will go and get a packet, assuming that they've, you know, the old stock has run through and they've got the new ones. I'll go and get a packet later and we'll do that on the next show if I remember. You know what my memory is like. I say I'm going to do something and then I completely forget. And then it takes you to send in an email and remind me, Chris, you said you would... Oh, yeah, I'll do that now. Of course, by the time I get the email, probably the entire packet of biscuits will be finished and I'll just have to go and buy another packet. Mind you, I've got these ginger snaps here at the moment. I haven't eaten these yet. Oh, these ones. Oh, yes. McVitie's ginger nuts, now even more gingery. Okay? I had some of these the other day, and I immediately noticed a difference. Immediately. Can you see it? Those of you with vision, ginger nuts, now even more gingery. They do taste different. But it's not just the extra ginger, the texture is different. They don't seem to be as crunchy as they were. And yes, I preferred the old ones. They keep changing things because they think they need to be improved on. They're selling millions of these biscuits and crisps and things. They don't need to change things all the time. Back to this story. In an online forum, this is to do with the Walker's crisps, someone wrote, whether this is simply a publicity stunt planned by the marketing department to cause public outcry, or whether Walkers think this change in ingredients will increase their profits, I will certainly be contacting them to let them know how I feel. I'm afraid I'm a bit of a person who thinks, what's the point in writing or sending an email? They don't listen. It's like these surveys that come all the time. Don't you get fed up with that? Every time you order something from the internet or fill in a form somewhere, the next day they want to do a survey to ask you what you thought of the service. I got to say, on my recent BA flight, British Airways flight, coming back from New York, I took the business class ticket. I wasn't 100% happy. I thought the food choice was diabolical. It was all Ponzi stuff. I call it Ponzi stuff. There was nothing normal there. You couldn't buy like you couldn't have like a cheese roll or something like that. It was like swordfish something or other, and it was all this Ponzi stuff. So they came round with this little menu, and before the menu, a bloke had come, and the cabin staff had come round. Cabin staff, fantastic. Never ever, in all my years of flying around the places, I've never had any cause to complain about British Airways cabin crew staff. American Airlines, yes. I flew American Airlines to and from Las Vegas, and they're just a miserable bunch of bastards. Miserable as sin, American Airlines. Never again. Never again will I fly on American Airlines. Miserable, miserable people you cannot joke with. British Airways staff, fantastic. No problem at all. Always friendly. All ages. I don't care how old they are. I always remember the one lady, it was on my first trip to and from New York. This British Airways staff, she looks about 200 years old. But I don't care. She was wonderful. She was fantastic. And the young ones are fantastic as well. Right? Absolutely fantastic. So they came to me with this form. Oh, you've been selected to fill in a form for, a survey. I thought, oh, here we go. Okay, I'll do it. Leave it with me. Thank you. And then the menu came, and I didn't like anything on the menu. So I was able to fill in that. Also, unfortunately, I had one of the seats that was in the centre. And I was right next to someone, and there was no screen in between. I do like a bit of privacy in the plane. And I was disappointed with the seat. I wasn't very comfortable with that. So I filled in the survey and sent it off. Will anything happen? Probably not. Probably not. I get sick to death of these surveys coming through. And that's why I don't usually bother complaining to anyone. Oh, well, rather than complain, I don't go again. Or I don't buy again. And if Walkers have started adding real meat to these crisps, I won't buy again. Simple as that. And neither will all the vegetarians. We are quite I think it's fair to say there are varying degrees of vegetarianism and probably veganism. If you're a proper out-and-out vegan, you look at the ingredients to every single thing you buy. You don't buy anything with eggs, and certainly not butter or dairy product. Nothing to do with animals. It's actually very, very difficult to be a vegan. I have sort of, oh, I'll try and do that, and I do, and I have tried, and then you suddenly realise, hang on a minute, that had butter in it, or something like that. It's very, very difficult. But I won't buy these crisps anymore. The new and real flavours include unmistakably cheese and onion, which includes cheese from Somerset. Okay? Definitive prawn cocktail with veil of Evesham tomatoes. I mean, what planet are they on there? Which prat has come out with all this? Someone has got a lot of money for coming out with all this. Remember that. Classical ready salted with salt from Cheshire. Does it matter where the salt comes from? Just stick it in the bag. Salt and vinegar. Already salted. Where's the roast chicken with free-range chicken? smoky bacon with RSPCA Freedom Food Pork. I mean, I've never heard anything. What an absolute load of crap, isn't it? It's the marketing people. There was nothing wrong with the crisps as they are. Leave them alone. Last year, Walker's was slammed by customers who counted as few as 5 whole crisps in a packet of their newest brand, Walker's Deep Ridged. And I've come a cropper with this as well. You buy those Walker's Deep Ridged crisps, and the bag is just full of air. There's nothing in there. There's barely any crisps. And I remember them being on Watchdog, and which is a BBC consumer programme. Very good, actually, with the wonderful Anne Robinson. And they put this to Walker's, and Walker's said they have to put a lot of air in the bag to protect the crisps from crushing. Honest. In fact, a story in the Daily Mail says things got so bad that the BBC Watchdog programme launched an investigation. Their investigation found a maximum of 13 crisps. 13 crisps in a bag and a minimum of 11. But other customers contacted the show to report they had seen as few as 5 crisps in their multi-pack bag. Well, the multi-pack bags, but I advise no one to buy multi-pack bags, because you get them home and you expect there to be 6 packets of normal-sized crisps, and there ain't. There's 6 bags of very small crisps, so you have to have, like, you have to have 2 of those bags to make up just over 1 normal bag. You're better off just going to buy the normal one. You really are. Walkers were quick to hit back to the Daily Mail, claiming that their Deep Ridge crisps were more prone to breakage and were protected by being sold in slightly bigger packets, giving the false impression that there were less crisps in them. I mean, make what you will by that. You know. But certainly, if they start putting real meat in their crisps, I think they're doing themselves a real disfavour there. There'll be a lot of people who just won't buy those crisps anymore, I reckon. And I shall be one of them, I'm afraid. What do you think of that? We got an email address if you want to join in at any time. My email is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. We were talking about radio presenters the other day, and I said my favourite talk radio presenter is Steve Allen, LBC. I think my most unfavourite talk radio presenter is Ian Dow, also on LBC. Can't stand him. I cannot stand his voice. Do not listen anymore. But that's okay, because what I do now, I record the whole of Steve Allen's show, because Steve Allen's on LBC between 4 AM and 6:30 AM Monday to Friday. Although he's had a really bad throat this week, and he had Thursday off. Although I've got it now. I don't know if you noticed, my voice is a little bit sore today. No, it's not sore. It's hoarse. That's the word. Hoarse. And I haven't been eating horse meat. Honest, I haven't. Perhaps Walker should start selling horse-flavoured crisps as well. There's an idea for you. Anyway, as I say, so I now listen to Steve Allen on the way to work. Ian Dow, I can't stand him. He is the worst one on LBC. Apparently he's won awards. You've got to listen to his voice. It is the most annoying voice ever on radio. Ian Dow, that's 7 PM to 10 PM, Monday to Friday, LBC. And another one I can't stand on LBC is someone who's on at the weekends, I think Friday and Saturday nights from 1 AM to 6 AM, and that's Christo. So, top of the tree, Steve Allen, absolutely. Other people in between there who are, okay, but I'm brilliant Steve Allen. Just below Steve Allen, got to be Clive Ball, fantastic. Clive Ball, I think he only does 2 shows now. And way at the bottom, way at the bottom, is Ian Dale, and he's just wishy-washy. He's one of those... He just sounds like a moaning old Mary, you know. Check him out. If you get time, check them out. You can listen online, wherever you are in the world, lbc.co.uk. Steve Allen, 4 a.m. to 6:30 a.m, okay, in the mornings. Translate that to the time wherever you are in the world. And then compare that to Ian Dale, who's on at 7 p.m. to 10 p.m, Monday to Friday. You compare those two, and please write in and tell me if you either agree or disagree, because I can't stand Ian Dale. So much that I haven't heard him for a long time now, because he gets on my blooming nerves. He really gets my goat, that one. And Christo, he's the other one on at the weekend. See what you think of him. 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. Friday and Saturday nights, I think it is, or it might be Saturday and Sunday nights. All right. Oh, another bloke I like on there is Duncan someone, who is on Sunday night to Thursday night, and he does the overnight, 1 to 6 a.m. Duncan someone or other. Hang on, let me find his name for you, because he's good. Duncan LBC, I quite like him as well. Duncan Barks, really like him as well. Duncan Barks LBC, he's good as well. Yeah. And John Golding writes in, who says, I'm from Croydon. You mentioned Croydon is rough. I'm from Croydon. Well, I feel sorry for you then, John. Are you safe where you live? I bet you've got metal bars up on your front door and all that, haven't you? And alarms and security cameras all around the place. Very dangerous, Croydon, dear, very dangerous. John writes, in relation to what you said regarding radio presenters, I was a huge fan of BBC London's 94.9 nighttime presenter, Big George. That's George Weebly. He was fantastic. You know, sadly, John, I only discovered him about 4 months before he sadly died. You know, so I only got that. Yeah, I really enjoyed listening to him. He never used to stop for the news either, did he? He just used to talk right the way through it. He was fantastic, and he lived a life. He always had something to talk about. Not like these kids on Capital Radio. Now and again I have to listen to Capital Radio to try and keep up with the new music. Although, quite frankly, I don't think the playlist ever changes. I'm sure, back in October, when I was listening there now and again, say once a week, I have to listen to Capital to try and keep up. I listened in October, and I listened actually last night, you know, on the way into work. And I'm sure they're playing the same record still. The playlist on Capital Radio, does it ever change? I don't think it does. Anyway, John says, when I suffered from insomnia, I used to listen to Big George between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. on BBC London. He wrote his theme tune for the UK programme He wrote the theme tune for the UK programme Have I Got News For You? It was like company for me most nights to listen to him. Last year, Big George died of a heart attack. I felt I'd lost a friend. He was just such a great man. Myself and a lot of people felt his loss. R.I.P. Big George. Yes, John, I can completely understand that. I thought he was a brilliant presenter. So many stories to tell. That's why I like to listen to the radio, to people telling stories. I love it. Unfortunately, here in the UK now, we've lost the overnight talk shows on BBC London. The BBC have decided, for whatever reason, probably as a cost-cutting exercise, although they wouldn't save much money getting rid of a few talk radio presenters at night. I mean, they really wouldn't. You're only talking a few £1,000s. And in the grand scheme of things, in the scheme of the BBC, that is not, it's just a mere speck in the ocean. So I don't understand why they did that. There were some other really good presenters on there at night. Caroline Faraday, quite likes her. Joe Good, who was actually, I think, married to Big George, or was his girlfriend, one of the two. And there was another lady on there, Asian lady. Now, what was her name? Because I really liked her now. Oh, God, what's her name? Asian lady. Oh, maybe I can... Asian presenter? Asian lady. I don't know what she's doing now. BBC London, let's try this. No, that's not it. No, I can't find it. BBC London. List is BBC London and... Oh, okay. Let's try that. No, that's all BBC News, that one. Come on, where are you? BBC London. Must be here somewhere. No, I can't find it. But there was an Asian lady on the BBC London as well who did the overnight programme, and she was wonderful as well. And they were all good. You know, at the top of the tree, of course, Big George. And they got rid of all of them, except for George, of course, who died. Must be about a year ago now, is it? They got rid of them all. So all we're left with now is LBC or Radio 5 Live. Talk Sport, they used to have, shall we say, normal conversation going on at night as well. But that last year was replaced with more sports talk. The other option is BBC World Service, but that's all like documentaries and things like that, which is very good. There is BBC Radio 5 Live, but that tends to be, it's just like a rolling news thing, and again, like mini documentaries and in-depth interviews, that sort of thing. So all we're left with is LBC. That really is the only phone-in show now in London. I don't know about the rest of the UK. It's the only phone-in show in London that we now have to listen to at night. Fortunately, we have, as I say, Duncan, what was his name again? Duncan, you know, Duncan at night. So he's all right. Anthony Davis, he's all right. But, as I say, you know, it's a shame because between, you know, with Ian Dow, that's the choice, Ian Dow or nothing. So I choose nothing. And then coming home at the weekends, that idiot Christo. Oh, gets on my nerves. They get on my nerves, those two. But there's no other choice. Whereas going back a year, you could choose from LBC, TalkSport, who had normal conversation overnight, or BBC London. You know, you had a choice of 3 different shows where you could call in. Now, 1. It's a great shame. It's a great shame, John. You know, I like to listen to personalities on the radio. People who've got stories to tell and can hold a conversation. Doesn't necessarily have to be about the news. We could be talking about what toys they used to play with. Do you know what I mean? I quite like the little inserts they did. I know Steve Allen, when he was doing overnight, he would have a gadget bloke on. And this bloke would come on and talk about the latest gadgets. They would have a health advisor on, and if you had some sort of medical problem, you could ring in with that. And another one who had, what was it, light gadgets, technologically, if you had an item of technology that had gone wrong, or computer person, Eric Wiltshire, there's a man. Eric Wiltshire, he used to be on LBC, he's got his own little podcast now that he does on from Slovakia on a station called RTI. He used to be on LBC on Steve Allen's show, and you would ring him in with your technical problems, that sort of thing. There's none of that at night now. It all tends to be talk about the news. There's no one there to talk about, dare I say, the mundane things in life, as I do on this show. Some people say, oh, who wants to watch you talking about what you did with your cat and all this business? You'd be surprised. You know, where is that friend at the end of the radio that we used to have? Joe Good on BBC London used to come across as a friend, you know? She would talk to you like a person, hopefully like I'm talking to you. Thanks very much for the email there, John. Good to hear from you. Glenn Pretty writes in, I love your video diaries. They are very funny and thanks for the mention. That was Glendora from who we mentioned at the beginning of the last show. Great working. She is a drag. Are you a drag queen? Are you a drag queen or a tranny? Not quite sure. Is that offensive? I'm sorry if it is. Okay, can I call you a lady? I'll call you a lady. She's a lady I worked with at West 5 last week. Great working at West 5 with you. You are a DJ legend. Thank you. Am I really? But legends are dead. And it really is only my career at the moment that is dead, rather than me physically. Much love and deep respect, and yet again, fab. So thank you for that. Thank you for that, Glendora. You look rather nice as well, my darling. Hello to Marj, who writes in on the 16th of February. This email got lost somewhere in the system. And I know sometimes we do fall so far behind with the emails. And I say to you, you know, I'm sorry. But if your email doesn't come up within sort of 3 weeks, please write in and let me know, because it's likely that it's got lost somewhere. It does happen occasionally, not very often. Actually, Marge will tell you, this happens very, very rarely. Sometimes, though, things might get lost. And the email address, of course, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I was asking you, are there any benefits to being, as I am now, in the Over 50s Club? And Marge writes, Over 50 Club, my top 10 benefits answer. Number 1, well, benefits is that people open the door for me more often, because Marge is also in the Over 50s Club. They offer to carry out my groceries much more often as well. Well, I haven't had any of that yet. Although I was in a club once, and I'm actually going back here about 4 years, and I was changing a bulb in one of the lights, which we're not supposed to do. You're supposed to leave that to a maintenance guy, but you know how it is. You know, you report something, and then you wait and you wait. I'd much rather do it myself. And while I was up there, this young lad who was about 24, 25, and and he was sitting there with his girlfriend, and he got up, and he says, do you want me to do that for you, mate? I thought, do I really look that old now? Number 2 for Marge. From her top 10 benefits of being over 50, I get great offers of lower cost burial arrangements in the mail. My insurance has gone down on some things. Yeah, that remains to be seen on my car insurance when it comes up next. I think it's May. I think March, April, May it comes up. So it remains to be seen. Oh, let me have a look at that. I can check that actually in my little filing cabinet. Car insurance. Let's have a quick look at this. When does that come up? Is that it? Oh yes, there it is. Look at that. It's on the top of the pile. That's handy, isn't it? Oh, where is it now? That is May. Oh, it's May. Okay, May. Is that the one? Tape 2009, 12. Oh, that's the. Listen, let me tell you. That's the renewal, because Toyota Insurance offered to renew it. Now, where's the other one? Oh, I haven't got it now. Have I got it? A minute. 1 minute. No. Maybe I haven't. Toyota Insurance wanted to... And you should never, ever take the renewal of car insurance when it comes through the post. Always shop around, right? Toyota wanted to renew it for £565, right? Sorry, 5. No, that was the one if you pay monthly. Annual fee £512.97. Do you know what I got it for? I went with Swift Insurance, £299. Never ever automatically renew your car or indeed house insurance. Never ever do it. Shop around. It's very, very sad, and I've said this before, loyalty means absolutely nothing to these people. Same with gas, electricity, broadband. Loyalty means nothing to these people. You shop around and you go whoever's cheapest. Unless, of course, you know, you've got some reason to stay, perhaps you know, you're very, very happy with the service or something like that. And, you know, by all means, stay with them if you want to for that. But you must shop around for these things. Number 3. Marge writes, I don't have to shave as often legs and underarms. Oh, Marge. Because my hormones don't cause that hair to grow as fast. But however, it has switched to hair under my nose as a moustache and chin area. Do ladies shave? Do ladies shave their moustaches and chins, Marge? I don't know. You tell me. Number 4, I don't have to worry about brushing my teeth anymore since they are all gone. I do have to brush the dentures though. Oh, I miss brushing my teeth. I like brushing my teeth. It's nice to give those old gums a good massage, isn't it, eh? Number 5, McDonald's gives you a cup of coffee for 25 cents. Senior discount. Does it really? Oh, I don't think we get that here. Number 6, I can say I saw a man land on the moon live on television and most young people can't. I saw that. I was there as well. I saw that. Number 7, I sleep more deeply now and longer. I can even fall asleep in evenings, even when I know I don't have. Now, I've never fallen asleep in a settee or chair unless I've been ill laying on a settee or something like that. But my aunt, who's much older than both of us, Marge, she's in her 70s, she falls asleep in front of the telly. She says sometimes she'll be watching the telly and then all of a sudden she'll wake up and it's midnight. So you've got that to look forward to now, Marge. Maybe me and you, eh? Number 8, I can realise now it's all down here from here on in. Yeah. I've kind of accepted that a little bit. My mate Ron tells me that I shouldn't give up on things and all that business, but I have given up on things. There are certain things in my life that I absolutely have given up on. And I think when you're trying to perhaps hold on to certain things, like your youth, I think you can make yourself very unhappy. And it's not until you accept certain aspects of your life that this is how it is now, then you can move on. I do believe that. So I see what you mean there, Marge. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it either. Number 9, I know that since a human can live up to 125 years of age, that my age is not on the calendar. But in the mind and how well I care for my body. So it gives me an incentive to keep healthy and spiritually motivated. And indeed me too, Marge. You know I go to church. I get a lot out of going to church. I quite like going to church. I also cycle about an hour a day. I swim about 40 minutes a day. So I try on that as well. And I probably have the fitness, I would say, perhaps of a 30-year-old. I reckon. Whenever I've gone to the doctor, whenever you go over 40, when you get over 40, every time you go to the doctor, you judge your blood pressure and your pulse and that. And my pulse rate is very low, and that's due to all the exercise. And number 10, I can seem wise to younger people or senile, depending on that young person. Yeah, it depends on them, doesn't it? And just a note, age isn't just on the calendar, it's also in the mind. How do you think? I know of a 92-year-old man goes dancing at the local dance place, and he can out-dance me for hours, mostly because I'm overweight and unhealthy. Well, Marj, you don't look overweight and unhealthy on your pictures on Facebook. When I've seen you on Facebook, Marj, you look all right to me, lady. You look fantastic. Fine. You look fine in those photos. And what I like about your pictures is that you're always smiling. We like a smile. You see, there's some of these people on Facebook. They've got these poses, haven't they? I think I did the same myself. I did the same myself in my 30s. You'd put this pose on, trying to look sexy, wouldn't you? But with a miserable face. A little bit like Victoria Beckham. Look her up on Google, Victoria Beckham. That is one miserable woman. She never ever smiles, and she tries to pokes her lips out. You know what's that called? Pouting lips. But she looks such a state. She really does. Thank you, Marj. Nice to hear from you. Got another little email here from the lovely Vicky Gannon, who writes, "You used to grow super tall sunflowers by the shed. Since you took down the shed, do you have a place to grow the sunflowers?" Yes. Yes, I do. I now grow them against the fence, and I was quite successful with them last year, except we did have a really windy day, right? And most of them went over, I'm afraid, and that was the end of them. But I now grow them against the fence. Do you do composting? No. I don't do composting because I don't throw food away. If I cook it, I eat it. That's it. Tea bags, I tear up and put directly on the top of the soil where I grow the vegetables. Vicky says, I have an allotment where I could grow veggies, but I gave up a few years ago. Maybe that was a mistake given the price of food. There was a sign in a grocery store this week saying that due to cold weather in Florida and California, supplies of fruit and vegetables are short. And of course the prices were higher than usual. $2 for one yellow pepper. That is dear. So I did not buy any veggies this week. I have some frozen string beans in the fridge, and that will have to do for now. What are food prices like at the stores where you shop? They're high. They're high. I've noticed them going up recently, yeah. I think the food prices are quite high. I had an allotment once as well, Vicky. And I'm wondering, did you give it up because it was really hard work? Because that's the reason I gave mine up was because whenever I went to the allotment, you'd have to put the spade in the car and all the other bits and pieces. Then you'd have to drive to the place, unload it all, do your work, load it all back up again, get mud in the car. Oh, and it was just too much of an effort, really. Now I've got that little space in the garden. The only thing is my garden isn't south-facing. So certain things don't seem to do well. I've tried to grow potatoes 3 times now in containers, and they just don't work for me. I don't know why. I put the potatoes in the earth, the plants grow, the plants die. I empty the bag, and there's very, very few potatoes. Not worth it at all by what they are. Carrots as well. I can grow carrots, but they're very small. You know, maybe an inch and a half, and I don't know why that is. Runner beans, fantastic. I grew runner beans 2 years in a row, lots and lots of them, so I'll be doing those again this year. Onions, minor success with those. I got a few out of there, but I bought some overwintering ones that I put in October, and they're due to be dug up in July, so I'll let you know how those go as well. I don't know if I should try the potatoes one more time, except at the front of the house this time. It might make a difference. I don't know. Vicky says, we're having a warm spell at the moment. Right now the temperature is at 34 degrees Fahrenheit, which feels quite balmy when compared to the temperatures we had when you were here. Yeah, it was just, it was so cold in New York. Once the temperature gets below 29 degrees, I feel really uncomfortable, and no amount of layers of clothes or hot tea can make me feel warm again. I just saw your 23rd of February Saturday show. R.I.P. to the orange striped shirts. So one of the shirts I chucked out recently. I remember that shirt, and the story of your trip to Burton's to return the sweater reminded me of an episode of your show from 2009 that had me laughing so hard that I bookmarked it and play it the first 15 minutes once in a while when I'm down, because it always gets me to smile. I could not remember if that was an orange striped episode, so I went back to refresh my memory and have a good laugh. That episode took place shortly after Suko's visit to see you in London. You had bought a pair of G-Star jeans in honour of her visit, and at the urging of your beloved Tracy niece, you had gone to Burton's in search of an additional pair of new jeans. When I played it back, I could see that you were wearing a long-sleeved blue and white check shirt with a pink Ralph Lauren logo. Did that shirt survive the Great Closet Cleanse? Do you know, I don't know. Shall we have a look? Let's go and have a look. I don't know, actually. Where's my slippers? Oh, what's the time? Oh, we've done 45 minutes. I can't shut up, can I? Well, hang on, let's go and have a look in the cupboards. Because it's Ronnie. It's my mate Ron again. He's got this thing about being bloody tidy and everything all the time. Right, let me carefully put my microphone in my pocket here. Hang on a minute. Hope that still works okay. Right, we'll take this with us as well. Come on in. Let's have a little look in the cupboard and see what we can find. Katie will be asleep on the... There she is. Katie. Katie's asleep on the bed. You got your eyes open, darling? No? Katie? All right, darling. Say hello. Katie! Right, come on then. Let's have a look in this cupboard. Aha! Is it this one? Pink logo? Blue and white check shirt? I think that's the one. Oh, hang on. There's another one here. Or is it that one? Have I got two? No, it's got to be that one. It's that one, isn't it? Blue and white check shirt with pink Ralph Lauren logo. It has survived. At first I was afraid. I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. There we are. So I'm pleased to tell you, Vicky, it has indeed survived. Oh, sits back down. Thank you. Right. That's it. Was it that one? Blue and white check shirt with pink Ralph Lauren. It's still there. It has survived. She says, I hope it did. You looked great in it. Something wrong with your eyes, I'm sure there is. The episode... Oh, hang on. Just a minute. Just a minute. There, you still there? There we are, still there. The episode was dated the 8th of August 2009. And when I played it on YouTube just now, on the right side of the screen, one of the suggested episodes was an orange stripe one that you recorded the following week. I guess the 23rd of February Saturday show struck a chord with me because I also hate to throw out clothes, so tend to let it build up and toss a bunch of clothes all at once. It's a good feeling when you take the time to purge the unnecessary things, whether clutter, clothes or whatever, but it's not always easy. 3 cheers for Ron for helping you get all that sorted. Have a lovely week, Chris, and that's... from Vicky. Yeah, it's something... I find it really difficult chucking things like that away. You know, I look... Oh, I might wear that sometime, and it goes back in the cupboard again. Do you know what I mean? All right, I think we're going to leave it there, boys and girls. Let's have a look. We've still got some emails from people waiting to be read out. Shall we slide? We're just going to slide one more in here from Suko, who's also in New York. Hello, Suko. Who says, "Are you feeding that cat, dear? Those crying sounds she makes sound like hunger pains. I hope you haven't fostered your vegetarianism on poor little Katie." No, there's plenty of food down there. She just keeps talking to me all the time. She does. Those cries could also be from gas. Hope you're not sharing those beans with her. Poor Katie. She does meow a lot, but not at the moment because she's curled up asleep on the bed. Wanting to give you a heads up, I heard from my friend Cardinal Timothy Dolan. He's on his way to the Vatican to be part of the conclave to select a new pope. He told me they're looking for someone 50-ish, preferably British this time, which immediately made me think of you. I told him that you were very devoted to the church, that you never miss a Sunday Mass, and that you even went to his Mass at St. Patrick's a couple of weeks ago in New York. He seemed very interested and impressed. You know, we're very close. He values my opinion. Don't be surprised if you wind up on the shortlist. Good luck, Your Holiness, from Suko. Do you really think, Suko, I'd be suitable as a pope? I don't. I have too many sins, too much guilt. I'm not a good person. I don't think they'd be interested. But I love the clothes. I love those clothes, don't you? The big hat and all that. I mean, I suppose I could just buy the hats, really, and sit here and do a show like that. Thanks so much for watching and listening to the show today, boys and girls. If you've sent in emails, hopefully they'll come up in the next few shows. No, that's wrong. They will come up in the next few shows, I promise you that. The email address to the show is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I've got Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter username is Chris Reardon UK. And I also have Facebook, facebook.com/Chris Reardon UK. The show is also available on iTunes. Just type in United Kingdom Talk on the podcast section. You'll find the video and the audio versions of it. Just choose what you want and hit the subscribe, all right? See you on the next show. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye.